It's our conversation with Max Szadek. He was Luther Vandross's personal assistant. He's the founder of Diabetics. Most of us have watched that CNN Luther Vandross documentary. And I've known Max for a minute. Thank you for this. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on.
We're going to talk about the documentary. What do you hope that people get out of it, or as they watched it? What is the takeaway that you hope that people got?
I think Luther Vandross embodied the American dream, and I think people take for granted that he would have been a success, but I think if you're watching the documentary, you see how he overcame so many setbacks and obstacles to achieve the success we know. So I think it's an incredible inspirational story for anyone who sets a goal, has a dream, and goes for it.
Let's set the record straight about Patti LaBelle, where some people were very upset. We know her heart, her relationship with Luther's mom and Luther himself, and he loved Patti LaBelle. What would you like to say to people who may be angry at her at that clip? Because we know Patti LaBelle, and we know how much she loved him.
Well, first of all, Luther Vandross was the Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells fan club president. Second of all, I was there after the stroke. She would visit Luther at rehab and the hospital, and I know for a fact that I took him once after he had the stroke to Philadelphia, and she was there taking care of Marietta Vandross, and so she made meals, and when the chips were down, I could count on Patti LaBelle. She showed up for him. So first and foremost, I'm sad, and I would love to give her a hug, and I'm sorry to anyone in her camp or Patti LaBelle for feeling that way. I just think overall, we know how much she means to all of us in Luther's life. And so I want people to know that there's no ill feeling towards her from me or anyone that I know. And I work with the estate, I work with the band members, I work with crew members, I've talked to the label. And, you know, she gave me a higher calling, Patti. I mean, I became diabetes advocate because of Patti LaBelle. She's living well at 80 years old. She's an icon. It's amazing. So I love Patti LaBelle.
Let's talk about diabetes. Doctor said to you that what happened with Luther with having a stroke could have been prevented. Let's talk about living with diabetes and doing it properly and taking care of yourself.
Well, first and foremost, I was shocked after you see that moment in the documentary, and I rushed Luther to the hospital, and the doctor comes out of emergency and tells me, you know, this could have been prevented. I had a family history of diabetes. I had no knowledge. On the road, had 50 people helping him out with his music, but when it came to managing his diabetes, he did it alone. I might have helped him pick up a medication, but I never went further with the conversation. Today, I know that depression is linked to diabetes. I know that you need to educate yourself and the people around you. You don't want people to be like me where you feel helpless in the situation. You want us to be able to respond quickly and immediately and get the care you need. So I think for anyone who watches the documentary who's wondering about that, specifically it's mismanaged diabetes that caused his stroke. And so learning, educating yourself, educating the ones around you would be the first step towards accepting it, which is hard enough in itself, to living a well life with it.
Let's talk about stroke. 9-year stroke survivor.
You're a fabulous 9-year stroke survivor.
And I don't want to tear up, but I talk about it often. I'm so grateful because where I lost my vision and I couldn't walk, he kept my voice. He kept my voice. And that was the thing that just kept me going. For Luther to lose his voice, I think of other stroke victims in Angela Bofill, a Levi Stubbs of the Four Tops, great voices that never sang again. When I had my stroke and I realized Patti could still talk, that he got me here for a reason. He has put me on another level for a reason, because I got work to do. I gotta let y'all know what's going on with health, with taking care of yourself, because things can happen and you can get knocked down, but how you get back up is so important. I ain't gonna break down and turn into a blubbering mess.
It heals my heart to see you doing what you love and what people love you for doing. I mean, that was something Luther couldn't do. And so to see you here looking so beautiful with the sparkles and just living your life again after that, reclaiming your space in the world is amazing to me. I mean, for me, the things about stroke that I learned, we don't know how long Luther had the stroke until I found him. So obviously, if you're living alone, I think you need to have an action plan. And the last thing you want to do, I'm sure you agree, is lie down if you're having any of these symptoms. If you're having droopy face, if you can't,
yes.
you're having problems speaking, if you're having blurred vision, slurred speech, can't raise your arm, just tend to just wanted to pray it away or think if I just take a nap, it will be better. But that's like the last thing you should do for a stroke. Yeah. And then I think we all have seen, because you're such an inspiration, it could take a lot of time, it could take a lot of hard work, but you can reclaim a space in the world. And I want people to know that, I see them, and I that's what I think makes me so sad when the documentary is my boss wasn't able to really accept the award for Song of the Year after the stroke. And so helping anyone have those moments back is kind of my higher calling today.
So much. This is Max Szadek, Luther Vandross's personal assistant. He has diabetics, and we're going to be doing some exciting things regarding diabetes in the city, the Luther Vandross Foundation. I really love working with you guys. I do.
Thank you.
And I'm thankful for you, and let's just keep encouraging others, encouraging people out there that there is life after this. Many things can be avoidable, but just embracing life and helping others, because the light that you are to help others. I always say God spared me for a reason.
Yes, he did.
And he spared me for a reason. And I said, I will dedicate the rest of my life. Y'all gonna laugh. I'm gonna have different wigs, but we're gonna help each other.
I'm gonna have to borrow one of those wigs. And help you out with that.
Max Szadek, everybody. Thank you. I love you, and love you guys too.